So, Art, are you aware that when you're not talking to somebody directly, in fact, even half the time when you are talking to somebody, your face is down in your cell phone?
No, because I don't do that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. And it belies the myth that people over 50, anybody with gray hair, doesn't know how to use social media, which is a myth that should have been a long time ago debunked. Oh, we have to introduce ourselves. He's Art Kirsch, say hello.
Hello.
And I'm John Coleman. And here we are doing another blog for Celebrating Act Two. But this is about social media, because you're a social kind of guy.
I am.
So you're not aware that you do that. But like everybody else, you look like you're 15 when you do that.
15 again.
You should be so lucky.
Right. John, you don't look like you're 15 when you do that.
No, I don't do.
Right.
I don't do that as much.
You're certainly in your 20s.
But I think, seriously, people have an outdated image of seniors because they think we don't use Facebook, or we don't use Twitter, or we don't use whatever. Everybody I know does.
Yeah, and also I think that there was a study showing that the fastest growing age groups are over 50 and the volume that they're doing it. And I'll have to check on that, but it's certainly, there's nobody that I know of who, virtually everybody has a smartphone.
Oh, absolutely.
Even-
How many people even own a hardline anymore?
Even my son-in-law, who was the last one to adopt, even using a regular cell phone,
Really?
I think has finally moved to smartphones.
I mean, he's not over 50.
Right, and only because I don't think you can buy dumb phones anymore.
That's true. That's true.
But in any event, I, maybe like a lot of other people, got curious about Facebook because it was such a big phenomenon, and the kids were all on it.
Yeah.
And from my wife, I know it was a place that you could see what your kids were doing.
Right.
I enjoy the posting of the pictures of the grandkids and
Monitoring
so forth.
your kids on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think that's true. And today, everybody we know that's 50 or older is using Facebook, at the very least, using Facebook to keep in touch with the family and the kids and halfway across the country, around the world.
And also, I have to say that the kids graduating from high school today who are keeping in touch, maybe even just occasionally on Facebook. I recently had to go back and find, I didn't have to, but I wanted to find some friends I had from kindergarten.
Yep.
That I was very close with for many, many years. And had we all been in the Facebook generation, I never would have lost touch with them.
Right.
Or I would have been like one or two people away from somebody who knew somebody. And I found that it was very useful for that and the internet for finding people. And I found people that I hadn't spoken to in maybe 40 or 50 years and just renewed a friendship that we
Sure.
had, which was really good then.
Sure. Well, everything from college classes, high school reunions, to groups. I'm in touch with a couple of groups of people I used to work with, alumni, if you will, business alumni. And it's a great way, even now we're 30 years in on one group. We keep in touch and keep track of all the people we used to work with. It's really amazing when you consider how spread out everybody is around the country anymore.
And also in our own experiences, I seem to remember that you, up until recently, didn't use Facebook a lot, but had a lot of connections on there.
I did, for a long time, I just kept Facebook for family.
Right.
And I wasn't smart enough, I guess, at that time, or didn't think about using Facebook for business.
But you have LinkedIn. You're a LinkedIn
I'm
superstar.
a LinkedIn guy.
I have about 900, 800 connections. You have what, well over 1,000?
On LinkedIn, I've got about 6,000 connections.
Right. And by the way, also, now the two of us are still very active and look forward to being very active in business for years. Even for one of our nonprofit organizations,
Yes.
just last night,
Right.
I went to LinkedIn to find out who in Orange County worked for Google that I might get introduced to, for them to come down and find somebody to speak at one of our nonprofit SoCal Media Pros
Sure.
meetings. And I found that I had 2 or 3 friends who were first level connections with this person in Orange County.
Isn't that great?
And so I just put a message out to them last night. Could they please get in touch with so and so,
Yeah.
who might introduce me to somebody who might be able to come down
Sure.
and help us. Where with Google, you'd never find somebody online, as an evangelist who could come down
Yeah.
and speak to you. So from
Well,
that standpoint, even if we were retired, which we're not, there's whatever interest you have, social media, whether it be Facebook, LinkedIn, and
Sure.
the others we haven't talked about yet, can have great value, even if it's not just for the socialization, that
Right.
kids are using
Yeah,
today.
yeah. I think of social media more for business than I do for a family or friends. But the reality is, I probably use it equally for family and friends and keeping in touch with old people I work with, which is kind of family in a way, as well as business. So, to me, there's always a couple of programs. People are constantly coming up with new social media platforms, and I don't jump on those things, but it's not that I don't explore them. For instance, I've tried Pinterest. I just don't care. Nothing against Pinterest. A lot of people love it. People we know use it.
And I'm trying
It
to
just
figure out
doesn't do
how for
anything.
Celebrating Act Two we can use Instagram, which seems to be very popular.
Yep.
And I don't quite get it because I think it's only for still photos, although maybe that's a great way to generate interest, to put our lovely faces up there and have it.
Yeah.
Boy, I like.
Well,
they
it's
have a vlog.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
I
for
want
more
to go
than
listen
that,
to them.
and we'll talk about it.
But so I don't understand that, and I guess with my granddaughter, who's in her early 20s, I learned. I forget what they call it, but there's one of the things where you put your tongue out and you raise your eyes, and it looks like you're got a puppy tongue coming out and stuff. And those are all kind of things that disappear within 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
Yeah,
So
right.
I haven't quite gotten there yet, and maybe it's just something that
Well, let's
that
face it.
parade has passed me by.
Let's face it. There's so many. There's a proliferation of platforms, and there's so many things. And yes, most of them are developed to attract a younger audience, because those are the kids are going to play with everything, But that's not to say that the older audience isn't using them, or doesn't care, or isn't capable of using them.
And to that point, even though at the first take of this, you were chiding me for looking down at my cell phone and so on and so
Yes.
forth, the truth of the matter is that we go into a restaurant, even a high-end restaurant, and you see people of our age who
You
are
bet.
looking, they have their cell phones out.
bet.
Now, I tend to put mine in my pocket, but that's just me. But I was a later adopter of cell phones because I enjoyed the privacy and quiet in my car
Yes.
during a 2-hour commute.
Yeah.
Nobody could reach me.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I wouldn't be, I go back to the house if I'm just going to the gym because I forgot my cell phone
Right.
to bring in
Well,
the car.
and let's face it, what was originally just a phone has, progressed, because it's now your access to the internet. It's everything, and I think no matter what age you are, you recognize that. I don't know too many people that still have a hardline telephone anymore.
I just got rid of mine by taking our hardwired phone, which was costing about $60 a month because
Right.
they force you to take long distance and this and that and everything
Right.
else. And we had a unsmart phone that we had used for some other reason, which no longer needed, but was still functioning.
Yeah.
And I took my home phone, transferred the number to that, added a third phone for about $20 a month to my cell phone thing,
Right.
and it forwards to my wife's phone
Save
because
a
I
cou-
never answered the phone anyway.
Save a couple of bucks, get some more usability out of it.
Right.
Yeah. So the whole idea that seniors are not smart enough or not current enough to use all this electronic devices that we have at our hands today, I think it's a myth that still persists in some quarters.
Okay, I just want to now say this very clearly. Someday I'm going to be a senior, and I hope that I never give up my love of Facebook and LinkedIn and other social media.
You're not taking that smartphone from my cold, dead hands. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what kind of phone is it? Anyway, I think we've pontificated on this long enough. Anyway, let us know what you think. But the best way to let us know that you love us is to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yep. Good idea. Excellent idea.
Check off to send me the free newsletter, which we're probably going to launch in the next month or so. So you won't even be bothered by the newsletter till then. But please subscribe to our YouTube channel or our Facebook page, Celebrating Act Two.
Sure, and we'd love to hear from you. Love to have your thoughts on how we can make our website better, and thoughts about what we can do to help create our new talk show, Celebrating Act Two.
Say goodnight, John.
Good night, John.
Good night, John.